Disney classics, original shows, documentaries, and more, there's a new streaming service in town.
We're Andrea and Patty, and we are now streaming Disney+. Hey y'all, this is Patty from No-Guilt.Fangirl.com and the No-Guilt Fangirls Podcast. You can find me on all socials at No Guilt Life. If you want to come and hang out with me on Twitter, I'd love to have you.
And this is Andrea Updike from ThemeParkParents.com. You can find me on social media at ThemeParkParents or at Andrea Updike.
Now, this is it. We made it happen, Andrea. Look at us.
It's happening.
We have our own channel. Guys, this is our first official show on our new home at now streaming Disney+. If you followed over from No Guilt Fangirls Podcast, you found us. Good job.
Congratulations, you did it.
You did it. Now, for anyone that's just stumbling across this and is like, what are these girls talking about? If you look at the episodes, we're going to go ahead and upload the previous episodes that we did. They were recorded for the No Guilt Fangirls podcast, and we discussed at that time, it was just a segment that we were doing, and we thought, you know what, maybe this needs its whole dedicated channel. And as you can tell, that's what we decided on.
We like to talk. What can I say?
We do. And we like to talk about Disney. And Disney Plus has so much coming out that we just figured instead of taking over that entire other show, we would make a new cozy home with your popcorn and your ears to talk about Disney Plus streaming service right here. So welcome.
Yes. And before we get into Disney Plus, do you want to talk about what we're watching now?
Yes. So Andrea, what you watching?
I tend to go back and forth from the Disney Channel straight to what I like to call the Murder Channel.
Okay.
I pretty much have two speeds. I'm either watching Singing and Dancing or I'm watching some really dark, terrible show. And we just wrapped up season 2 of Barry on HBO. And I'm telling you guys, that show is twisted, but I could not stop watching it. It was so fascinating. It was so well done. Season 3, I'm told, is in the hopper, but we don't have a release date yet. So that one's finished. And then I had to switch over for some Descendants 3 because that one came out last week and my kids love Descendants. I love Descendants. Let's be honest, I listen to that soundtrack when no one is at home with me, and it's just a lot of fun. So those are the two shows I'm kind of stuck on right now, or I guess Descendants 3 is a movie, not a show, but that's me. How about you, Patty?
First of all, I'm glad to hear that from you about Barry, because I think we have similar tastes in a lot of ways, and it's been on the list to go and watch. I'm going to have to make that happen, but my problem is finding the time, but I better hurry up and do it before all this Disney Plus goodness comes out.
I will tell you, the episodes are only 30 minutes.
Oh.
So it's not a huge time commitment, and there's only, I think, maybe 8 per season.
Oh, that's huge. Okay, that's doable. That I can make happen on the treadmill. So Barry's going to happen. All right, so thanks for the recommendation. Now, over here, I think I am on my 6th. I think it's my 6th run through this summer of Schitt's Creek.
Ah, yes.
Look, when I fangirl hard. I go all in, and I love the show. This has become I need some happy. I need just, to zen out and bring a smile to my face show, and that's what Schitt's Creek is doing for me. So, by the way, guys, I'm not cussing. This is a family show. That is the name of the town. It's SCHITT''us, somebody's last name. So don't, get offended and be like, I thought this was a Disney show. It is. We're still clean.
We're getting there. But that show really is hilarious and heartwarming, and I also love it. I haven't gotten all the way through all of the seasons, but I absolutely love it. It makes me laugh so much.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. So highly recommend. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I do have an episode on that other podcast, which is the No Guilt Fangirls Podcast. Come listen to us express our undying love for Schitt's Creek. So Schitt's Creek. The other thing that I'm totally into right now, and this completely is because of my age, I was the target audience when it came out, and I think I'm the target audience now that they're doing the reboot, but the BH 90210, I am all in. I am loving this. Don't you groan at me. Don't you?
Let me just
don't
say,
you tell me you don't like it.
Look, I was excited to watch it, but kind of in that sort of can't look away from a train wreck kind of way.
No.
I watched the first episode and I just could not stand it, but I couldn't look away. So I will be watching this season, but I'm not loving it so far.
Oh my gosh, I think it's brilliant. I think it's not a traditional reboot, and I think that's what I like about it because okay, so when they first said it was coming out, I thought, reboot, another reboot. But then they said reboot with all the original cast, and I was like, okay, I'm in. That's it. And I think that was my full stop. I did not pay any more attention to what was going on with the show until it came out, and I watched the premiere while it came out live that last week, and so it took me and apparently everybody on Twitter by total surprise because it's not what we thought of or what I expected it to be when I heard reboot with the original cast. I thought they were all going to be playing themselves, and that's not what happens in this. But that's what my hook is. That's what got me even more excited about it. Yes, is that it is this. It's like they're heightened personal stories. Like it's not really them, but it's a show within a show. Right. Anyway, it's great. Right. I love it. I'm into it. And 90210 is now where you can find me. I have moved in.
You've got your own booth at the Peach Pit.
I do. Yes, I'm there. So that's what we're watching while we are waiting for all of this Disney Plus goodness to come out. Last week on the show, we talked about the new and the original programming that's coming out. And this week, we're going to do a little, Flashback Friday as we talk about the shows heading our way from back in the day.
I'm excited. I mean, I love Disney classics, and not just the movies, but there were a lot of shows back, in the 80s and 90s that maybe some of us remember. DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, and a lot of that stuff's going to be on. I'm a huge fan of the Disney classics because what I love about those are what I love about the new movies as well, and that's that there's something for everyone, and it's all going to be there all at once, and probably we'll be fighting over who gets to choose first.
Well, and I know we do have a list of what they have announced. There is more coming, guys. There is a lot more coming. Right now, I do have this list, and it's going to be on my website. I will link that in show notes for you so you can go take a look and see, see what you might be interested in refreshing on. But today we're going to talk about the couple of things that specifically are standing out that we're interested in revisiting or watching for the first time, because there's a few of these things that I missed. Just as a refresher in case
the first time around.
Yeah. And if you don't know, I am definitely a solid Gen Xer. That's where I fall in the age range here. So a lot of these things, particularly the Disney Channel shows, I missed the first time because I had aged out of them, like DuckTales. I remember my little sister and little brother running through the house singing the DuckTales song, so I'm very familiar with it, and I obviously knew what it was about, but I was older and didn't actually watch it when it was on, because that was also back when I was like a silly teenager, and I thought, the Disney Channel is for kids.
Right,
like
right.
Little kids, right? Where now, as an adult, I'm like, oh, the Disney Channel, let's watch Descendants.
I know. It's so much fun. And especially on vacation, we always have the Disney Channel on, and we'll watch anything. It doesn't matter how old or if it's a, old show, new show.
Yes. So that's where I fall, in the age range. Some of the things that a lot of people are excited about, I don't have that nostalgia factor in, just yet, but I'm interested, and I know because I do have a kid that's in that younger age range. She's excited about it. She is so excited about the DuckTales. Like, can't stop talking about it.
Well, who doesn't want to jump into Scrooge McDuck's money pit, right? Like, that was always the big vault full of coins. Like, come on, that's like the dream.
Have I told you this story? My salty story from D23 Expo 2017.
This sounds juicy, so let's hear it. Let's hear the story. I'm ready.
So D23 is the big fan convention that is for Disney fans. Mm-hmm. And at it, they have this huge expo floor. They have all these panels where they, show us some teasers and some of the fun stuff that's coming out. it happens every other year. And so it's actually happening next week. It's coming and I'm going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of Disney Plus content that they are focusing on. They're making this a big push at D23 Expo, and I'm living for it. So, I will definitely be reporting back for you guys on all of this awesome stuff as it comes live. That being said, flashback to 2017, and one of the big things that they were advertising was Scrooge McDuck's Money Pit, and that you could jump into it.
Oh, come on. That's too much fun.
Oh my gosh.
So you did it.
No. So what happened was, apparently it was way more popular than they expected it to be. So after the first day and the lines, I'm really not exaggerating when I say this, the line to get into Scrooge McDuck's Money Pit, like basically started, on Harbor Avenue or Harbor Boulevard, whatever Harbor is. It started out the door and went all the way. It was just that popular. So then they switched at some point to like a wristband option where you had to come up early in the day, get a wristband with a time to return to do your jump. Apparently when all of that happened, I did not get that memo. I did not see that update. I missed out on that. I showed up on Sunday morning and walk up, and the line is fairly reasonable. It was going to be a wait, but there was people standing in line, and I was like, that's cool. I can stand in line for this. I waited until Sunday thinking it would be the least busy time of day. And I walk up.
Smart.
Yeah, I thought I was being smart. I walk up and I try to get in line, and the girl's like, this line's been cut off. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And I said, when is it going to reopen? She goes, no, it's cut off for the day. We are done. Dude, this was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm not kidding. It was.
Oh, man. So they had already given out the wristband.
Yeah. I said, I don't understand what's going on. And that's when she explained to me about the wristband thing and whatever. And I was like, okay, but some people won't come back for that. Can't I come in, I don't know, as a standby line? Or, I mean, I'm willing to keep checking in if that would be okay. And she was like, no, you don't need, I mean, she was really rude to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was done. She was 100% done.
So done with the DuckTales fans, which, you know what, I looking back, I'm giving her grace and I get that. But she was really not a pleasant discussion at the time, which, if fun fact about me, when you're not pleasant to me, I'm not pleasant back. That's just, so I am sure.
Well, you reap what you sow.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. And I'm sure her version of this story is just as salty as mine is, because I was probably not very nice to her either.
Gosh.
Anyway, point being, she basically turned me away and told me, don't bother coming back because we are not reopening this booth. Guess what? They reopened the booth. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
Gosh.
So I missed the chance because I gave up. I was so annoyed and so angry about it. I did give up, and I did miss my chance to jump into the DuckTales. So yeah, and what,
that's a sad story.
What killed me was her commentary. She said we were unprepared for how big of a deal this would be, and I was looking at her like, do you guys not even know your people?
Like,
did you not do research?
Are you new? Yeah. Like, how is this a surprise to you? Any classic Disney fan, even you, the one who isn't that big of a fan, wanted to do it. You would think they would anticipate that.
It was crazy to me. It blew my mind. But anyway, so DuckTales is on the list. I am going to get back into DuckTales, and I will have to let my dreams of jumping into the money pit go. What else are you thinking as far as shows, as far as like some of the older shows that you would be down to sitting and watching over again, or for the first time maybe?
I'm kind of focusing more on movies, but definitely DuckTales. I watched that. I was probably a little too old for it, but I watched it anyway. And I liked the song. The theme song was just fun. And also the Gummy Bears. I don't know if you remember that show, but they... It kind of came, they were right on next to each other, and that was about the little bouncy gummy bears, and I don't know, I was into it, so that would be fun. I haven't even thought or seen anything about that show since it was on probably 25 years ago. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm actually really looking forward to rewatching some of my favorite movies with my kids, because there's a lot of good stuff, and a lot of the old favorites are still pretty relevant. I mean, one we have already watched, which is coming back when Disney Plus launches, is the original Tron. Have you ever seen that one?
I want to say that I saw it in the theater a million bazillion years ago and didn't care for it, didn't get it. It didn't connect for me. which is weird because I really liked Star Wars type stuff, right? So it wasn't that I was, anti that kind of genre or whatever, but that's just kind of a memory that I have is I do remember going, I don't get this. So, but I will give it a second try because.
Well, you should, because it is like classic 80s cheese. Like, so we actually rewatched this recently as a family because I had fond memories of it. And of course, Walt Disney World is building the Tron coaster in Tomorrowland. And so there's been some buzz. They actually did a reboot of Tron a few years ago, which we haven't watched yet. And we wanted to watch the original first. But the thing I love about these old favorites is as kind of a computer geek, a little bit of a computer nerd. I was an early adopter, early 90s. I had email. We had the big giant computer, all that stuff. And this is a movie where the villain is the computer. And that is really fun. And like the graphics are terrible. It's old. It's silly. But the actual story is still kind of relevant, right? Because like even though technology has changed so much, it's the same idea. Like who doesn't love the old evil computer trying to take over mankind kind of story, right? Like it's classic. And so my boys actually really loved it. I wondered how they would do because it was such, the graphics are so rudimentary compared to what they are now. But we actually really enjoyed it. We're going to watch the next one at some point. And I don't know, it just really got me excited for the ride that's coming. And
okay, well, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at this because it's been so long. When you described that, I'm like, drawing absolutely no connection to it, and I know I saw it. So
yeah,
okay.
So he actually gets sucked into the computer, into the game. Okay, and it's not even a game, but anyway, it's fun. It's just it's just you see everything. It's very predictable now that here we are 30 years later, or however long.
Right. All right,
but it's a lot of fun.
Then I'm definitely down. I'm down for that. How about I know you mentioned singing and dancing, so you know where I'm going with this, right?
Let me think about this. Why don't you tell me?
We are gonna have to do a whole show, Andrea. I'm just telling you this right now about High School Musical because it's coming to Disney Plus, all three of them. And I know it's out there. Like I think I can find High School Musical 2 pretty regularly on demand for free because I still have cable because of course we have #everything.
Yes.
But so I know I can see that one over again. But I have a hard time finding the original, and then I have a hard time finding number 3. And I'm sorry, but you need all 3. You need this in your life, and and Mama needs it in her life like all the time. So High School Musical is probably my number 1 excitement as far as the old stuff that's coming back that I am gonna. And the funny thing is, again with the age difference, I was aged out of Disney Channel completely when High School Musical came out. It was, I think I had a baby by the time this movie came out on the Disney Channel for the first time. And I can't remember at what point that I happened upon it. It wasn't too much after that, but I was smitten. I was completely in love with everything Troy Bolton.
So can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I've never seen him.
Stop. Andrea, stop. No.
It's a true story. I've seen bits and pieces of one of them.
Oh my gosh.
On the show, on the Disney Channel on TV. But I have never sat down and watched them from start to finish.
Okay, look, if you like Descendants, this is way better than Descendants. However, you don't like 90210, so I have issues with you. So I'm not sure what to say about this.
I'll like it. I'm sure I'll like it because I love the cheesiness of Disney movies. I mean, look, it is what it is. It's its own genre. It's great. They're fun. They're talented. They're cute. Totally ready to watch it. But yeah, I wanted to let you know in advance that it will be my first viewing. I may have things to say.
I should have probably put that on the questionnaire before I picked you as my co-host. Must love High School Musical, otherwise you're out.
And you guys, this is not scripted. I saved this little treasure for the live recording because I wanted Patty's real reaction.
Oh my gosh, this is one of those times where I wish we had done this one as a video, because you should see my face. Like I cannot even at this time, guys. All right, well, that's good to know. Good to know. Little All right, what else? Anything else? One other old movie that you're
yes.
I know what old movie I want to see that I haven't seen, because we did talk about this once before, is The Rocketeer.
Yes, absolutely. And that is one that I am a little nervous to rewatch because I loved it so much that I'm afraid if I rewatch it, I won't love it as much as I did. Does that make sense? Like, I'm like, what
it
if
totally
it's not
does.
as good as I remember? But I loved this movie. I mean, this is another one that's just like, it's older. The graphics, well, it's a live action movie, so it's not graphics, but there's some special effects. But, you know, it's like, good guy finds a jetpack, and then, like, there's villains. I think they might be Nazis, and there's like all this stuff going on, and he becomes this hero who flies around in a jetpack. Like, it's just the coolest.
Well, I think if you go in, you know, from a fan perspective, like, take your critic hat off, you know, for that first time, and just go watch it for fun, then you'll probably still have that connection. Because I back to 90210. I had to do that with the original 90210. I thought, I need to dive back in, and I need to watch this, and I need to think about if this is really as much fun as I remember it being. And but I had to take the critic hat off and put it aside and just enjoy it as this, you know, as the 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl that I was when I first watched it. And FYI, it still holds up. So everybody go watch 90210 again. But back to Disney Plus. So The Rocketeer. But yeah. I can't remember what year it came out, but I did not see it.
Yeah, I think it was the late 80s. And I actually went and looked it up recently on IMDb, and you can actually see one of the original trailers, which is hilarious. Trailers are so different now. But, I mean, Billy Campbell, Jennifer Connelly, they're pretty people. There's a little bit of a romance there. So I'm sure I was probably, maybe it was even early 90s, because I was definitely, part of it was definitely the romance, because I was just getting into, like, you know, rom-coms and things of that nature. And I just really enjoyed it. I did. So I'm excited to see it again. And I don't know. I think my kids will get into it, because especially my youngest loves anything that includes a jetpack. So I have a feeling and masks. Like, he loves characters that have helmets or masks. So like Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, you know, I think, and Rocketeer has a very distinctive helmet with this cool, like, fan out the back. And
cool.
So
cool.
I think he's gonna like it.
All right. Well, I'm down for it. Now, I have to tell this story. I went to Hollywood in April for red carpet for Avengers Endgame red carpet. And while I was there, I did all kinds of, like, super touristy things. And on my list of touristy things to do, don't know if you guys know this, but you can go to some of the theaters there in Hollywood that are the old school, like, you know, all the big stars would come to the glitz and glam of Hollywood back in the day. And one of them is the El Capitan Theater. This theater is now currently owned by Disney. The theater underwent, like, this massive renovation. I went and did a tour of the El Capitan, and it was, anybody can do this. I think it was like $12 or something to sign up for the tour. I'm just nerdy enough, especially about Hollywood in general, to go do stuff like this on, you know, whatever. So it's like a 45-minute tour. I show up. I'm the only one. It's just me and the tour guide. And so I got this kind of one-on-one private tour.
Yeah, welcome to your private tour.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I felt like a Hollywood star myself. But anyway, he pointed out at one point, and when he was telling me the history of this theater, that when they relaunched it, when they reopened it, I think I'm getting this right, when they reopened it, the Rocketeer was the first red carpet that they held at El Capitan after the big update and all of that.
How
yeah,
cool.
It was really cool. And he also showed me a picture of it, and they apparently had they had a roller coaster out in the middle of the street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, and it looked like it was a lot of fun, and it just piqued my interest. So since I did that tour, I have had The Rocketeer on my brain, even though I haven't I haven't seen the movie, but again, Disney synergy. Look, you got me interested.
It is.
In The Rocketeer.
It's such a fun movie.
So I'm excited about that one.
It's fun. And I really love it. I mean, it's such an adventure. And I love the Disney adventure movies. And I know they're doing lots and lots of reboots lately. Some people have opinions about that. I'm okay with it. But I do love a good original story. And I really feel like that's what The Rocketeer is.
Well, speaking of originals and reboots, we're also getting the original Parent Trap on Disney Plus.
Yes. Yes, please.
Right?
I am so excited for this. Let's get together. Yeah.
Hayley Mills.
I love that movie.
I know. So with this one, I remember my mom introducing it to me on TV and telling me how she had watched it because it was made in like 1961 and how excited when it was. I can't even remember what channel, obviously. This was way back that we stumbled across it. But she was so excited to see the original Parent Trap, and she had me watch it with her, and I fell in love with it. Well, of course, they did do a reboot with Lindsay Lohan in it. It sounds like you're not so impressed with Lindsay.
I mean, look, it was a cute movie, okay? I did not hate that movie. I just have such a love of the original that one was hard for me, and plus it came out in the age, kind of a similar thing that you were talking about. Like, I just wasn't watching Disney stuff at that period of my life. I can't remember how old I was, but I think it was probably in college or something. And I didn't have kids yet who would be interested, and I was like, how dare they? Like, I was like seriously offended. And when she came, but she was cute. She did a good job. I've watched it since, and it's fine. But I just love the original. It's so much fun.
It really is. It was really great.
It just reminds me of like classic Hollywood, right? Because the guy's from California and the mom is in London, I think, and there's just, it's so glamorous, and that time period and the outfits. I do too. So that's I'm excited also from the perspective of my mom showed it to me, and I'm going to be able to show it to my kids. Which, let's be honest, my daughters are going to be into it. My sons don't care. But my not trying to be sexist. I'm just being a realist. They have no interest in the Parent Trap. However, my daughters will think it's really great. So I'm going to pass the 1961 version along to my children through Disney Plus, which I think kind of wraps up or explains why we're so excited about getting Disney Plus in our lives, because I mean that it just scratches the surface.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I could talk about 10 more movies I'm excited to see, and so it's going to be a lot of fun trying to decide what to watch first.
I know.
What our kids, like, aren't you curious to know what your kids latch on to? Because I feel like it might be different, because obviously I have boys, and I was a little girl growing up to these movies, so they might like something entirely different than I did, and it'll be fun to see, and maybe I'll start liking things I didn't like. Cough, Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh, yes, the Apple Dumpling Gang. So tell us your feelings about that one. I haven't seen it on the list. I'm assuming it's going to be, I'm assuming that at some point it will be available, because the list that I have was an early list that came out, and it's definitely not every single Disney movie ever made. And I don't think Apple Dumpling Gang is on there, but you mentioned this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it on a list.
You told me that you didn't like it, and I was surprised because I have a memory of it, and I remembered liking it. My parents, they tried, bless their hearts. My sisters got to go see Grease in the movie theater, and I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, something like that. And I really wanted to go see it, and my mom wisely said, no, I don't think that's for you. But my sisters weren't that much older than me. But anyway,
right.
She took me to see the Apple Dumpling Gang in the theater. I must have been older than 3 or 4. I can't remember how. Anyway, point being, I saw it in the theater, and it was I remember laughing and going, well, it's not John Travolta, but I guess it was all right. That was kind of my... It'll do, my opinion back in the day. But I don't think I've seen it since then. So when you said you don't like it, what do you not like about it?
So my husband heard me say this the other day, and he was horrified. He was like, what? You don't like Apple Dumpling Gang? And I was like, oh yeah, about that. Because I don't know. I had to think about it because it's been so long since I've seen it. I'm like, well, why didn't I like it? What is it? And it really boils down to a few things, which is basically everything he loved about it. So there were words were said, but I don't love slapstick comedy. I don't mind physical comedy, but when it's just running into walls over and over again, like kind of the Three Stooges kind of thing, I'm not a fan.
Just not your thing. Gotcha.
So, yeah. So there's that. I don't really love Westerns at all.
Okay.
Something about the colors, it was just very dusty. I just remember it as being very brown, which is an odd thing to say, I know, but like in my mind at the time, I just didn't love the colors. And I don't know. It just wasn't, it didn't hold my attention like some of the other movies I was interested in. So I might like it. I'm going to watch it again. Maybe it'll totally surprise me. And he was just like, but it's this awesome story about, these kids that get adopted and all this. And I'm like, I don't remember any of that. Like all I remember is this other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind when I see it again.
Yeah. But that's one of the kind of interesting things about all of this is that we shaped our memories when we were little, right? So how true are those memories going to hold up when we watch them again, now as adults, now as parents, now through the lens of our own kids? I mean, it's just going to be a whole different experience. So I, for one, I can't wait to sign up for Disney Plus when I'm at D23 Expo because I get to do it early.
You do. You get to do it early.
So, just FYI, everybody, there is going to be a ton of Disney Plus information that is going to come out next week. And Andrea and I are going to get together and have a deep dive discussion about it all once we get back from our traveling. She's traveling. I'm traveling. It's going to be crazy. But we are gonna bring it to you, and we're gonna bring it here on this channel. In the meantime, if you want more immediate updates, I am gonna do that on the No-Guilt Fangirls Podcast. So you can always flip over to that channel if you want some immediate what's happening at Disney Plus news. I'm gonna try to update something every single night as a rundown. And I already have a seat guaranteed. I'm traveling as press, and so some of the press were able to get seats in advance, and so I know for sure I will be in the Disney Plus presentation. So I'm gonna have all your details straight from the horse. And if we get to see any previews, I'll be able to kind of tell you what we get to see.
What day is that? What day is that presentation?
That's Friday.
Okay,
so it's Friday.
I'll have to be sneaking peeks at my phone to see.
Well, it helps, your husband's into Disney too. So, you guys can romantically look over Twitter together. Yeah. Exactly. to get the D23 Expo news. But that's all coming. We promise a big coverage episode here, but you can also get some shorter ones that are going to be, they're probably going to be super raw and unedited and just be going, oh my gosh, guys. But, but that's what happens when I fangirl out. So that's going to be over there. But we are going to bring it here as well. And look forward to that. Now, in the meantime, we would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe, if you can leave us a review, if you can throw up some 5-star ratings. All of that helps in the algorithm for all these podcast providers. And share on social media. Tell people about us because, Andrea, there's just so much coming that we're going to have so much to talk about.
I know. And we would love to know what you're looking forward to. If you've looked at any of these lists, if you're expecting something to come out, or you even just remember something from your childhood, let us know. Let us know what we should be watching.
Yes.
Because we're gonna be watching this stuff as soon as it comes out, so we can revisit and maybe catch some things that we've never seen before.
And I would say that the best places to leave those recommendations for us would be on our blog posts about the Disney Plus. Which both of us, I'll link those in the show notes. But you can go and leave comments on the blogs or on our social media handles. I'm at No Guilt Life on everything, so you can find me there and leave me a note. send me a little heads up. You need to start watching blah 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 blah, and we'll have a discussion about that. That's kind of how we see this shaping up eventually. As more things come out, is we might plan to watch maybe an older show. Maybe we'll start with Tron since Andrea is excited about it, and we'll both watch Tron, and then we'll come back and kind of give our thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. But that's kind of what we see this shaping into as information comes out and as more shows are available for us to watch on Disney Plus.
Definitely. It's going to be so much fun. We're really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see what else they drop. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. So I will be following along with Patty next week at D23, and we'll get the lowdown and bring it all back to you as soon as we can.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so for now, though, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you real soon on Now Streaming Disney Plus.